Let's think back not too long ago when your parents, family member, or elderly person told you not to act that way, dress that way, or maybe not talk that way. Remember that older kid who thought he or she is mature because of their age, and they believe that they can talk down at you? Well, not too long ago, your parents were having the same spiel from their parents and older siblings, which led to a cycle of bad judgment. So we ask you this: is there a difference between generations?
What I perceive generations to be, of course, in itself is the time difference. I would think a generation difference is between 20 years, but what people need to know is that it's much more detailed than that. There is moral, ideologies or political ideologies, philosophical and religious. So there's a lot of factors that can be compared in between generations, and I believe it might be one of our most defining, troubles in society, because it makes us, fight over silly things or complicated things too, but we can learn from each other.
The level of disrespect that's going on with this generation that did not go on during the last generation, and especially during my mother's. One, per se, respect towards our elders. These kids of this era don't care. It's all about them. They feel this is their world and they can do whatever they please, and that's not the case.
It depends on how the world changes around you. Every decade or so, we have different influence, like with music and everything. People are influenced by different things. So that influence can affect generations to generations. Like, for example, most of us didn't grow up in a generation where people were segregated because of their race, but there still are people out here that were.
I don't think age really matters in maturity, because I've met 20-year-olds that act like 5-year-olds. I've met 16-year-olds that act like they're grown adults paying taxes.
Different for each person. I've friends who are 18 or 19 or 22 and very mature. They approach the world with a lot of responsibility. But I also have friends who don't look at life that way. I really see maturity as a way of looking on life.
I do not believe that age matters in maturity at all. I say so because you can meet an older person that doesn't act their age and a younger person that acts way too mature. I mean, maturity and different levels, it all depends on the personality of the person.
A person should present themselves a certain way in a picture, depending on what the picture is for. If it's like a profile picture for a modeling agency, I guess it should be presentable, not trashy. If it's like a family portrait, kind of like a group picture, I mean, you can be silly, you can just have it kind of like a Christmas card, I guess. It depends on what you're doing. But always, if you're doing something professional, make sure it looks professional, not, this is something I just did in, like, my car.
Not half naked, going on for the girls' part, because some girls be half naked and they take selfies.
I mean, we have the freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and we can present ourselves any way we want. We can't just fall into this norm of society, to smile and to look happy, because a lot of us are not happy, or a lot of us don't want to express ourselves that way. So
the way that they dress more comfortably than they did a long time ago, I think.
We all have different styles, so I guess it depends on what's available to you. Like, I guess some women will probably walk up down the street like a hoochie mama, but it's the way that they want to present themselves.
When it comes to young adults dressing, I think that we dress for whatever the new thing is. Like, I have yet to see somebody in last generation dress in a 420 short or have like a giant hemp plant on it, and I've yet to see somebody in this generation wearing parachute pants or something like that.
At the end of the day, this is a growing time. Everything is just changing, in a sense, I like to say evolving. But take note though, let's say twerking. It was brought to my attention not too long ago. A lot of people, twerking came from African Americans in a sense. We turned up at the party. Twerking goes back years ago. It wasn't even brought to light till about this year and last year. What the thing is though, people don't really know twerking. Everybody looked at, for those who did not twerk, people looked at it as, oh, that's disgusting, that's ratchet, oh, she got no class, whatever. But as soon as a skinny white girl by the name of Miley Cyrus with no booty at all gets to twerking on the stage, it was pandemonium all across the world, all through social media. For the longest, everybody was making twerk videos. White girls, black girls, Hispanic girls, Arabian girls.
People used to dance and it used to be fun for everybody. But nowadays, all that, how people dance and how people present themselves when they dance, it is not like something everybody likes. But back then, like, it was something everybody enjoyed though. Like with the tap dancing and everything, it's just something that everybody could enjoy and sit down and watch. But now people look, you see, people shaking their butts and stuff, but in a way where it's not something you would want to like watch.
In certain matters, of course. That you can say that for every generation. I wouldn't say that we've been treated unfairly. No, absolutely not. If anything, we've been given so many gifts in our generation. Like, we have the expansion of the digital age, and we have technology, we have computers, and we have all these amazing things. And that's not to say that other generations had technology as well. I just feel like we're more interconnected, so we're more privileged. And I think one of the main problems of why people may think we are mistreated is that other generations are jealous, and they're like, well, you don't know what you have and you're not grateful. And I don't think it's a matter of being grateful. We shouldn't have to be grateful that we have all this technology. In the future, our children are going to have even greater technology. So it's not fair to say, or not fair to use against us, because we can use that against our generation as well. Like, our grandparents, started with the radio, and their grandparents didn't have the radio, so it's really an unfair situation. However, we should be open-minded and not fall into the susceptibility of insulting them back.
We were babied a lot. I guess we were just coddled into thinking a certain way, and everything started getting easier with my generation. Just, the technology started getting more advanced. A lot of the stuff that everyone had to do back when my parents were young, I didn't have to deal with. Like, for one, I work at the bank. I don't have to do a lot of the things manually.
Naturally. One thing, again, I'm always going to be very careful because it's different context. But taking my family, there's a lot more freedom, but I don't know, people have different perceptions of what freedom means. But at least, freedom of thought, for example. I've been very lucky and not having been imposed upon by my parents, I should think this, I should believe in God, I should this or that. I had the choice to decide these matters, and not everyone, not the majority of people nowadays, my generation, have that choice still. But I feel like there is a movement towards that. But again, with every kind of progress in that regard, there's also regression. And you see it today, how polarized in the US, how many children still grow up in a very close society, being forced to believe this or that.
Everyone is given their own piece of judgment. That's because everyone has their own opinions. But opinions are not fact. Be yourself. To those who believe that we should give up, think again. We've shown you that no matter when you are born in judgment. But no one is ever satisfied. No one is ever satisfied with who you are, what you do, or what you will do, but that does not mean you are any less of a person than anyone else.